Yesterday, a young woman, Cassidy Hutchinson, 26 years old, from Pennington, New Jersey. She worked for Mark Meadows, the chief of staff under Trump. She testified in front of the January 6th committee that Donald Trump assaulted a Secret Service agent driving his automobile and threw ketchup and other condiments and generally misbehaved on January 6th. Now, when I heard this, I didn't really react one way or the other because this is hearsay. So I'll explain again. We are a country that has due process. Hearsay is not evidence, okay? Also, the January 6th committee is a lynch mob. It's not a committee. It's not looking for the truth. There's no cross-examination. There's no tough questioning. It's let's get Trump and put a noose around his neck. That's what it is. Everybody knows that. So I hear Cassidy Hutchinson say something. I go, okay, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Certainly not definitive. And so this then gets into the media, and you know what's going to go on in the media. So the usual suspects, NBC News, CNN, and then other networks, I mean, they immediately convict Trump. But the conservative commentators, some of them, convicted him too. Roll the tape.
The President of the United States, I assume he's sitting in the backseat, reaches forward, tries to grab the steering wheel, and when the Secret Service head takes his hand away, he reaches with his other hand for the guy's throat.
Listen, this testimony is, first of all, stunning because we haven't heard this. Two, it's compelling because of her proximity to power. All of these people directly having conversations with her.
Well, how do you know? And then Chris Wallace, the first soundbite, he just reiterates what she said. Like it's a fact. Now, I know both of those guys. I mean, I'm going, what are you doing? It's okay to report what the woman says. If you're a news person, you have to do that. But you don't buy it without corroborating evidence. Where's the corroboration? There isn't any. In fact, the Secret Service very quickly, after those two gentlemen made their statements at 6:24 p.m., and Bear goes on the air at 6, Secret Service says, no, didn't happen. And the two Secret Service agents in the car are willing to testify under oath that it didn't happen. This is reporting by NBC News Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander. That's what he's reporting. It's interesting. So NBC News buys it and tries to convince their viewers that Trump did it without any due process. But then their own reporter goes, no. The problem with Alexander is that he's using anonymous sources too. So I don't know what happened. And I'm very pleased to tell you I don't know. I don't know if Cassidy is telling the truth or not. All I know is it's hearsay, uncorroborated testimony. And Chris Wallace and Brett Baer said, oh, it's stunning. No, it wasn't stunning. I heard it. I wasn't stunned. Okay? Now, Greta Van Susteren, who we had on tomorrow, put out a very clever, who we had on yesterday. Calm down, O'Reilly. All right, I'm here. Greta Van Susteren, who we had on here yesterday, tweeted out, quote, if a questioner, Liz Cheney, wants to appear fair to a jury of the American people, it probably is not good to get caught on camera hugging the witness. And then she throws up, there's Cheney with Cassidy. A little kiss. What is that? What is that? Come on. Oh, well, good for Greta. Now, look, I put a message of the day up every morning on BillO'Reilly.com. You don't have to be a premium or concierge member to read it. It's there for everybody to read. I'm going to quickly go through it because I think you'll enjoy it. So this is what I said. And I wrote this last night. It was posted early this morning. And this is in the wake of that. The latest in the long-run series, Get Trump, is a former White House aide, Cassidy Hutchinson, accusing the former president of assaulting a Secret Service agent, throwing ketchup at people on January 6, 2021. Hutchinson was under oath when she said that in front of the January 6th House committee in place to destroy Trump's chances of running again, which is what they are. Of course, Ms. Hutchinson was not challenged by any committee person, and the media immediately convicted Trump of seditious conspiracy or something. According to the press, Trump is absolutely guilty of everything, but I'm not sure throwing ketchup is a federal offense, or mustard while we're on the subject of condiments. Just hours after Ms. Hutchinson testified, she was contradicted by the Secret Service. According to NBC News, this correspondent, me, has no idea what Trump did on January 6th, other than what he said publicly. I will say the president did not handle the situation as well as he could have, but we all know that. The way it works in our rapidly deteriorating country is that all allegations immediately turn into convictions, and even if Ms. Hutchinson turns out to be a perjurer, even if she lied, nothing will happen to her, even though perjury is a crime. Nothing will happen. Did they get the Supreme Court leaker? I don't think so.
Cassidy Hutchinson. So I have a personal beef against Cassidy Hutchinson. She worked for Donald Trump. She made accusations against Donald Trump. She got hundreds of thousands of dollars to write a book, and her book debuted at #1, and my book, Killing the Witches, was #2. That's my beef against Cassidy Hutchinson, okay? That she was #1 and I was #2, and I'm usually #1. The reason she was #1 is that every network on television put her on, and her story was BS from the jump. So she got the book contract and the #1 position because she got massive media attention, all right, based upon a fallacious accusation. What was the accusation? You will remember that Ms. Hutchinson said Donald Trump on January 6th wanted to go to the Capitol while the riot was underway, and Secret Service blocked him, and Trump pushed the Secret Service agent and tried to grab the wheel of the car. Here's what I said the day after Cassidy Hutchinson made that allegation. Go. The most sensational charge was this Hutchinson woman, Cassidy Hutchinson, saying that Trump grabbed the steering wheel in the Secret Service limo and demanded to be taken to the riot itself. And that was easily refuted, and it was ridiculous. I mean, as I said, he would have to be the 50-foot man to have an arm long enough from the back seat where he was sitting to grab a steering wheel. It couldn't have happened. Okay, so now Hutchinson has backed off that allegation, and the House Oversight Subcommittee wants to see what documentation she had to make the allegation in the first place. And if they don't hand it over, the Hutchinson people and the book publisher doesn't hand it over, they're going to get subpoenaed. Media madness. This is a really interesting story. Remember this woman, Cassidy Hutchinson? She had a book, all right? And it sold a lot of copies. I know that because Killing the Witches was up against her. Now, Witches ultimately sold a lot more copies than she did. But out of the gate, she did very well because she accused Donald Trump of grabbing the wheel of the presidential limousine and fighting a Secret Service agent because Trump wanted to go to the Capitol. And according to Hutchinson, he wanted to encourage this crazy thing that happened on January 6th. Hutchinson was a low-level staffer in the Trump administration. She writes all this garbage. I knew it was garbage from the jump, okay? Here's what I said. Go. The most important accusation was from this Cassidy Hutchinson. Now, we've done some investigating. It would be physically impossible for a president or any human being, sitting in the back seat of a limousine to reach across and grab the steering wheel. It's impossible, physically impossible. You can't do it. Okay. And that was true. But that's not what the hate Trump media told you. Roll the tape.
President Trump ordering them to take him to Capitol Hill, and when they would not do so because they did not believe it was secure, among other reasons, President Trump, according to these Secret Service agents who relayed this to Cassidy Hutchinson, lunged at the wheel and then lunged at the throat and clavicle of his Secret Service agent, Robert Engel. It was devastating testimony, a portrait of a president who was completely and utterly out of control.
And it was a lie. And Tapper's the worst. I just thought I'd rub that in. You know that, I'm sure. So now the Inspector General of the Secret Service, Joseph Kufari, based on more than 100 interviews of every Secret Service agent around at that time, okay, has said the whole thing is bogus. It never happened. This is the Secret Service. This is the Inspector General, okay, who was in charge of investigating this stuff. All right, so how many lies is a corporate media going to be able to get away with? Because nobody's going to report this Inspector General thing. You know, it sickens me that a woman can make a lot of money peddling a falsehood, that B, CNN and Tapper can pick it up and spit it out, and they weren't the only ones. Almost every corporate media TV operation did, okay? And C, that it takes this long for the Inspector General, who could have done this in a month, you might say, no. It's awful. Our system is so corrupt. I'm not cynical. I'm fact-based. It is corrupt. The media is corrupt, and the federal government is corrupt.
To watch the full episodes of the No Spin News, visit BillO'Reilly.com and sign up to become a premium or concierge member. That's BillO'Reilly.com. Sign up and start watching today.